All right, what's up, guys? We have a brand new event. In this case, you could choose one of these three things: dark, water, so you can only use dark and water attribute, light and earth, and wind and fire. A very interesting event. Some are better than others, but they've balanced things for sure, and we'll definitely talk about them. Obviously, this was kind of made for Blue Eyes and Sharks in mind because they're in the new pack, but there's a variety of different loner decks you can go take a look at. We're not going to go over all of them because there's just a ton actually this time. Some are good, some are really crappy, but let's go to the constructed decks, the decks that I think you guys should build. Now, before we get started on the deck discussion, would you like to make your Master Duel experience a whole lot better?
Are you ready to take your Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel Play experience to a new level? The Untapped GG Companion is here for you. Use the deck tracker to know exactly what cards you have in your deck, and to go over any cards you aren't familiar with yet by hovering over them. It instantly updates when you draw a card, and automatically hides if you check your extra deck or graveyard. This is the perfect tool to help you master a new deck. The Untapped GG Companion also lets you import decks directly into the game in seconds. Copy any YDK or YDKE deck string, create a new deck in game, click the Start Auto Import button, and let us take the wheel. Once the duel is over, check your win rate on your personal stats page. Brag among your friends and share your decks so they can import them into the game too. Start your path to master today by downloading the Untapped GG Companion at ygom.untapped.gg.
Okay, so first things first, the best deck, or one of the best decks, is going to be Blue Eyes. This event was pretty much made for Blue Eyes, so it's very obvious why it is what it is, why it is as strong as it is. Also, the light hand traps are actually really strong. The only thing that they did hit is that they put Wishes to 1, and they put Maiden to 1, and then also I think the biggest hit, arguably the biggest hit, is the fact that they put Spirit Dragon to 1, and that is actually a major hit. Spirit Dragon, of course, being the extra deck monster that lets them tag out into a variety of different plays. This one right here, it's probably the biggest hit that the deck has, because now I don't want to say the deck is worse. You still have an insane advantage loop with the Primite stuff. Your payoff is just very different. You have to do other stuff. You have to go into like Crusade Avermax and Heraldic Seal of Heavenly Spheres, and you have to go into like the fusion monsters to finish games. But you can definitely play this deck a lot more trap reliant, so you can even take some of the more combo heavy stuff out, put more trap cards in, and make this more Primite, more Blue Eyes. Jet is very good in those situations. This is very good in those situations. Sets back trap cards. You can even play like strikes, warnings, solemn, stuff like that. Judgments, you can play all kinds of things like that. The Primite counter trap if you want to. Like, there's a lot you can do if you're finding that one of these isn't enough. All right, next up we've got another Earth Light deck. In this case, I've got Ancient Gears. I actually think Ancient Gears is quite good. It's probably the best going second deck in the entire event. The only thing that they really hit in this entire deck is Chaos Giant, which is usually the guy that attacks everything, but that's not a concern because with the new cards, you can attack everything anyway. Like, you have multiple attacks with a monster that has like 4,500 attack, does piercing. You don't have to do that. It doesn't matter, and that's with the trap card right here. You can summon something and it gets 3 attacks during the battle phase. So you just summon Ancient Gear Chaos, Ancient Gear, Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, and then you attack 3 times. This dude is 4,400 and does piercing. You're probably going to win the duel. That's one monster, plus you have other monsters that you can attack with. So it's not really a concern that Chaos Giant got hit. Most of the time with the newer builds of the deck, the one you're finishing people off with is this one anyway. The only time Chaos Giant really comes in handy is when you're using the Ancient Gear Fusion, but in this case it doesn't really matter. You don't have to use Ancient Gear Fusion. You can use Ancient Gear Fusion just to summon the Megaton Golem, and then he gets multiple attacks for depending on what you send. So he's not bad either, but generally speaking, this is the one you're going to want to go into, finish games. Again, this is probably the best OTK deck in the entire thing. Pretty much this deck is like totally unhit. Again, it's like the hand traps in all of these are extremely limited, so depending on what deck your opponent's playing, I mean, it really depends on what they have. They might not be able to. It's kind of crazy because this deck is actually really strong. Plus the Dominus cards are really good too. It's basically like another Ash Blossom. But yeah, very good deck. Okay, next we're moving on to Water Dark, which in this case, Water Dark is Tearlaments. Tearlaments are Water Dark. They are made to be Water Dark. There was very few things that I even had to really change from a regular Tearlament deck for this showcase. You have the Msetti. I guess you're missing one of the Horus monsters. Usually you'd be playing Happy. You can't play Happy. You have to play this dude right here. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you were using Happy all that much anyway for his moves. You were using it for his stats anyway. So this comes out. It's going to be 2400 attack, which is just like Happy. I think he's 2400. This is 3000. It literally is like the same thing. You basically are just getting it to put things into the graveyard anyway. That's the whole reason you're playing that engine. But like I said, this deck, the only thing that they hit was Rhino Heart to 1. Which does hurt, I'll be honest with you, but there are multiple ways to get to it. Scream is still at 3. All the regular ratios are still normal. Scream is still at 3. I mean, it's a luck-based deck, and the good thing about an event like this is that I don't think it actually matters. It only matters how many times, like, you need to win, but you don't. It doesn't matter if you lose. You have to win to get prizing, but it doesn't really like hurt you to lose. So you can just like scoop, go to the next one, scoop, go to the next one until you win a bunch of times. So this deck is still very, very strong for what it is, even if you get a little bit unlucky. Next up is Shark. Sharks is another deck that they're kind of pushing with this event. It's Water Dark. Sharks don't really use that many darks, but I mean, there are some random sharks that can be used as darks. But yeah, they have 7th Ascension, which is kind of like a really good card, but 7th Tachyon is a new card, when Sharks is just amazing. It basically searches like the entire archetype, and then of course you have the Dominance Impulse, which is really, really good. But yeah, the Shark engine is really, really strong. You don't have Toad, but then again, you don't really have Toad access anywhere in the world now. It's pretty much banned everywhere. But the deck overall is quite strong. You have Big Jaws, which is like the new card. Great starter. You have Buzzsaw. You have a variety of really good starters, and the extra deck is just absolutely obnoxious in this deck. Also, you have the full armored XYZ package, which again is at full power because they're all waters. So you have it completely available to you, and you get all of their effects, which is really, really good. You can steal an opponent's monster. I should actually cut this. This doesn't need to be there, so we'll just replace that with this, because that actually doesn't make sense to even have. Also, on a side note, Bystials are available in this, but the problem is, I don't know if your opponent will have lights and darks, so because there is the fire and wind event, so if you end up playing against the fire and wind player and you have Bystials, they are literally worthless to you. So they're a little bit dangerous to play. So I would consider not playing the Bystials, but kind of see where the event goes, and if everyone's playing like Blue Eyes or something, Bystials might be a good choice. Okay, next up we are in Fire Wind. Fire Wind is interesting because the hand traps in this one are actually the best. The hand traps in this one are Ash Blossom and Fuelos and Droll and Lockbear. Like, the hand traps in this one are really good. Plus, all 3 of them have access to Imperm, which also is like really, really crazy. And the cool thing about these hand traps is they're like kind of like one-time use. You don't have to worry about using them later. So you can use them, and then you can use the other Dominus stuff and not even have to worry about anything else now. So yeah, and then you have Impulse is really good in this deck. You can, like, the cool thing about things like Fualos is use them in turn 1, so even if you get shut off from winds later, it's not the end of the world. So you could just use this to use, you can use this first and then use Impulse without any issue. And yeah, the deck is overall pretty good. I mean, it won it won a YCS a little while ago. Basically, the pure variant of this deck won a YCS. It is a little bit hit on Master Duel because you're missing the other copy of this, and you're also missing... Yeah, you're missing the additional Kirans, and you're missing one other thing that you're missing here. It's basically a budget deck in a lot of ways. You're missing the Kiran, and you're missing more Pot of Extravagance, but other than that, the deck is pretty much a full power. And it's pretty... I wouldn't say it's like super budget, but I mean, it's got the Grunix, the Ponix. Yeah, Grunix, Ponix for the main deck, and then you need one of these, and this you could really play at 1. I only play it at 3 for the Extravagance, but realistically, this deck overall is kind of crazy for what it is. It is a very, very, very strong deck, even pure, and it's pretty much on hit. It's just the regular ban list. It's the Kiran. All right, the last deck I'm going to show you is Salamangreats. Salamangreats is at full power. It's at full power, except it's missing certain hand traps. But like I said before, the best hand traps are in the fire and wind area, because you have access to Fuelos, you have access to Ash Blossom, and you have access to Droll. It's basically the best of the hand traps. You pick which ones you want to play. You pick which board breakers, hand traps, whatever you want to play. You definitely can play. I'm not playing Fuelos here, probably because I forgot to add it. But you could definitely play Fuelos. It's the only Max C-like card. I mean, I guess Perulia too, but it's the only Max C card that you can basically play, just because Max C is banned in this event. But Fulos is fully available, which is quite nice for you. So you can definitely tech in those, maybe cut down a little bit on some of these other cards. Definitely play that Salad, full power, didn't hit a single thing. I don't know why they didn't hit anything. The deck, this might be a sleeper best deck in the entire thing, in the entire event actually. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. But that's the last deck I'm going to show you guys. Give me some ideas. What deck are you playing in this event? If there's something that I missed, because obviously there's so many decks and so many different things that you could combine in this, archetypes that you could combine, that perhaps I missed something. Let me know what you guys are playing in this event, and thank you for watching.
La 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 la.